Welcome to HomeFront Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting.
Out on the edge of the battle and back, we've carried the weight and we've walked every track. From desert dust to the fire at home, we've learned how to fight, how to stand alone. But no one tells you what comes after the war. When silence is louder than the guns we bore, that's where we speak, that's where we heal. Stories too real for Hollywood reels. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see. We're warriors to battle just differently. This is our check-in, our voice, our step. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. For the fallen, the fighting, and those who came home. For the brothers and sisters who still feel alone. We're holding the line with truth and respect. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. For the fallen, the fighting, and those who came home. For the brothers and sisters who still feel alone. We're holding the line with truth and respect. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. It ain't all medals and waving flags. There's pain in the silence and weight in the facts. But we've got a mic and a mission to share, to tell the damn truth, cause somebody's gotta care. We laugh, we cry, we cuss, we pray. We honor the ones who ain't here today. From basic to battle and back to the block. This is our rhythm, our round table talk. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see. We're warriors to battle just differently. This is our check-in, our voice, our step. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. Still heavy in dreams out of reach. For the lessons the textbooks could never teach. We're sounding off, no filter, no prep. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. So if you've worn the boots or love someone who did, if you swallowed your hurt and kept it all hid, pull up a chair, you're not alone. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, where courage meets scars and raw honesty. This is our anthem, our truth intercept. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. For the ones still standing and those we've lost yet, for every single story we'll never forget. We speak so others won't forget. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. Real talk, real facts, real life. HomeFront Sitrep podcast, where the mission continues.
Welcome, everybody, to a Monday edition of HomeFront Sitrep. How is everybody doing? Gunny, how are you, sir?
Sore. That's
Yeah?
it. Just dude.
Sore.
Yeah, I mean, it's week 4 of the Chris May performance workouts. And it's been the same workout. Like every Monday's been the same, every Wednesday's been the same, every Friday's been the same. But increasing the weight, right? And putting more intensity into it. Yeah, I'm sore. And then, the youngest one comes home and he's been working out every other day. So sometimes it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then right back into the Monday, Tuesday routine. But slowly building up his strength and building a workout plan for him. So I added 3 new workouts for him today.
Nice.
He was down there for an hour and change, getting that in. And then, I don't know, April calls at 6:00 and I'm like, I'm making tacos tonight. It's easy. And I'm sitting there cooking and I was like, oh, damn, I got a podcast tonight. I got to go. So, I'm hurrying up to cook and, throwing down a couple tacos. And I was like, hey, I got to get in the room. So that's why I was a little bit later getting on, than I usually am, because I was shoving my face.
Well, I told our guests, I said, I guarantee Sam's eating. Exactly what I said. I said, I guarantee he's eating.
Sunday's usually pretty good because she's home, right? So I can cook a little bit earlier, and that way the food's warm for her. But with it being tacos, it's easy, right? It's hamburger meat and it's a seasoning, and I always warm up the shells. And
yeah,
but I was like, I'm not gonna cook it too early because it's a 15 to 20-minute drive, depending on how traffic is for her. And I don't
Right.
want her dinner to be cold. So I was like, I'll just wait. And I was like, "Damn, I gotta go. I'm just freaking cooking away and throwing shit everywhere. And yeah. Well, anyway, I'm here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome.
Today
Welcome.
was a beautiful day, man. Of course, I was at work. That's the only thing that sucked about today was I was at work and I had to, go do that for the day. But other than that, weather was perfect. I had my work pants on and a t-shirt, a thin material, kind of like this one. Starting the morning off, I had the hoodie on, and I took it off probably about 9 o'clock this morning when the sun started coming up. I was like, "All right, time for the hoodie to go," and just did the jobs I had on me, and got done and went back to the office, and I was like, all right, time to go. So I got home and I was like, come down here, and I was downloading last night's episode because we had a great nonprofit on last night with
Yeah.
Real Hero Charters up out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Is it Fort Wayne? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, Fort Wayne, Indiana. We had those guys on last night, so I uploaded their episode, made sure it was out, and then I checked the analytics, which I don't normally do. Like, I checked to see who in the last month, what countries have paid attention or watched Homefront Sitrep, and China is still leading the way. And
China.
I
I mean, and
don't,
with like dramatically
yeah,
more
dramatically.
uploads than the States. It's pretty crazy.
I was like, how is somebody in China listening to Homefront Sitrep? What's up, Mr. Ty Cobb and Mr. Adam Bird? Had a good conversation with Mr. Adam Bird earlier today. I need to have a conversation with Ty Cobb, and I had a few conversations with a few other people as well because there's some things working in the pipe. Me and Gunny kind of talked about it last night, and I talked with Adam about it, and I talked with a few other people earlier today. So I'm super excited about the possibilities that's coming. So stay tuned. Make sure
Yeah,
you
I saw
follow
some
us.
of the responses on the Tots
Yeah,
thread. Yeah.
yeah. I think it'll be pretty. I think it'll be pretty neat, and I think people will enjoy it. We'll just have to see how it all plays out and goes from there. But yeah, so last night we had a great guest on Real Hero Charters. Um, Two great guys. One guy's a veteran. One guy is a civilian. And man, I tell you, the boat that they had, dude, that boat was dolled up pretty nice, was it not? The way
Yeah,
the
I mean,
vinyl was.
I've seen a lot of wraps on 18 wheelers, on trucks, on pretty much everything except a boat. I've seen the stickers on boats, right? But not a wrap.
Yeah,
And I would say that is probably one of the most badass wraps that I've seen on a boat
yeah,
by far. I mean, it's got the old, you know, shark, tiger jaw front end, and then everything dedicated to the services and the first responders. And a lot of the images on it, resonate pretty good through every generation. So yeah, I just can't wait to be on the water with it.
oh
It's
heck yeah, man! I'm
um,
super excited.
I do want to do the and then the I almost said tuna, the salmon slash trout,
Yeah,
because I've not done that on either of those lakes, right? I've
okay,
done it in Alaska, and it's a little bit different, right? When you're sitting there in Alaska, you're just throwing line out and you're reeling it in, waiting it to come up and do the thing. But when you're on one of those lakes, and Erie, not so much. It's more whatever the one over closer to New York is up on the
that's
the
superior.
Superior.
Yeah, yeah,
They do a lot of salmon fishing up there, and then they do a lot salmon fishing, closer to Cleveland too, because there's a big hole there. It's a big, 200-foot trench, but most of the lake is shallow. So on the west side where we fish, that's not happening a lot.
yeah.
But on Lake Michigan, you're dropping 2, 3, 4, 500 feet for these fish, and you're pulling up, monster coho and monster lake trout. So yeah, I'm excited to get up
Yeah.
there and see what the boys are doing, and promote them a little bit more and put them in touch with some of the guys that I know that are in the industry, and
Heck yeah.
help them master their craft, if you will, on especially the walleye side and the the perch side. That's where most of my contacts are on the
Hmm.
Erie side. But I do have some contacts up there that do the Michigan stuff too, that um, have their own YouTube channels that talk about the hows, the whats, the wheres, the whens, the whys, and all that stuff
Yeah.
related to
And
fishing.
then Josh White messaged me earlier today. So we just had Josh on. Josh White Racing was just on.
Last
Um, yeah, last week. And we mentioned getting him connected with Warriors to Racers. So he reached out to Ed McLean via the email. They have now partnered.
I saw that.
So what's super cool is they start out with Warriors to Racers and learn the ins and outs of pit crew, learning how to drive on the endurance racing, right? Then they're going to be a feeder into Josh White Racing, which will be the ARCA series, and then hopefully eventually into the NASCAR Truck Series, and then
Well,
whatever.
he's local right now, so it's going to stay
Yeah,
that local
yeah,
series. When we spoke, he's talked about the possibility of
yeah,
moving up to
yeah,
ARCA
yeah,
with the Josh White Racing, but right now it's going to be that local series.
yeah. So it's super cool, that we made that connection for those guys, and now they're partnered, and they're going to be a feeder system. I think it's super. I
Yeah.
think it's super cool, man. But anyway, that's enough of us bumping our gums. We have a returning guest tonight. Do you want to talk about it? Let's you go
No,
ahead.
no.
Yeah.
So we had Kevin and Lauren on with Van of Valor, man, last year, right? And they talked about what they were doing with Van and Valor and traveling the nation and talking with the Purple Hearts and the Gold Star families, and getting as many stories documented as possible. They have now uh, settled down for the time being um, in a southern state, and I'm not going to ruin any of it for the listeners. I'll let them talk
Well, you
about it.
done run it.
I didn't. They just settled down in a southern state. I didn't say where.
I know, but you done
I
run
didn't ruin
that
shit.
settled down.
But they're still continuing with their mission. So um, I just love. I want to hear where they've been, what they did, how many stories they got documented, and what the plans are for the future, right? And I think that's what everybody wants to do. And very rarely do we get to have somebody come back on as a recap of where they've been, what they're doing, and I'm super excited about this. And I got to see Kevin and Lauren last year after they were on the show at Warrior Weekend, and hopefully, I'm looking down there in the green room. They applied to go on the Warrior on a cruise because they, are close-ish to where we're departing from this year, and
Mm-hmm.
they can join us on that. But like to see them back at Warrior Weekend as well, and yeah, just excited for both of them, and where life has taken them both.
Heck yeah. No, I'm excited. Like you said, it's almost a year to the date. Almost.
Yeah,
I think we had them on April of last year, so almost a year to the date from when we had them on, and I'm excited. Like you said, I've been following their journey on Facebook and YouTube and everything, and I'm excited to see where they've been. Like you, I'm in their journey. So without
yeah.
further
Well, what's
ado,
what's funny though, last time Kev was on the show, he said he wanted to get me on record, and that has yet to happen. But he did, man. He wrote a great article. He's like, "Hey, I've been wanting to do this for a while. Let me send you this." So he sent it to me. I proofread it, and there was one thing, just one thing, that was a little incorrect. So we fixed that, and I sent him a bunch of photos to go with it. But yeah, everybody that has read that article is like, "Man, really? This is you?" I'm like, "This is me from his perspective. None of this is
yeah,
my words. This is all his words." So yeah,
yeah,
super grateful for Kevin and his friendship, and I've known Kevin for a long time, and I said it last time he was on the show, and I'm going to continue to say it. His growth has been amazing, and what he's doing, and I think Lawrence had some to do with that too. But it's just amazing to see what you can do when you follow your passion.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I think you got him blushing down there, but we'll find out here in just a second.
I might not be blushing.
Let's bring them to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome back.
I am definitely blushing. Thank you. It is an honor to be back. And, Willis and Sam, you both nailed it. Everything is Lauren, and I've done nothing in life, and I suck. But no, just joking. But she has literally brought me into such a better place. And since you had us on the show, well, gosh, it's been like literally just over a year ago, I guess 13 months or 11 months.
11 months.
Yeah, and we've been all over the country, and like Sam said, we were very fortunate to see him yet again at where we can remember, and hopefully again this year. And we couldn't capture his story yet because I know it's coming, and other people seem to come and go from your when you're fixed in on a target and then you see other sites come and go through your picture, but you're focusing on the one.
Right.
That one is going to come, but it's all these other ones. If you don't hit them, then you're going to miss them because that deer, you've been tracking it. You know that deer's there. But what all these other people matter too, and you can't. Anyway, so we metaphorically sniped a lot of other deers and have not gotten gunny deeds yet, but it's coming. It's coming. You can only jump out of so many airplanes before you get you, brother.
Right.
Oh, right. Well, first off, thank you guys for coming back and hanging out with Gunny and I for this hour or so. But do me a favor for people that do not know who you are in your story of the Van of Valor. Reintroduce yourself to the world of HomeFront Sitrep if you don't mind.
Want to go?
All right. Well, hi, I'm Lauren Wallace, the other half of the Kevin and Lauren Wallace duo, pretty much, that run the Van of Valor. And so what we did was we had an idea that we felt patriotism was wavering, all in the build up to A250 this upcoming 4th of July. And so we decided to figure out what is the continuing thread? What is this purple thread of sacrifice that Purple Heart recipients and Gold Star families already know, but how can we articulate the thread of sacrifice to the greater masses, all while the national focus is headed right here, right now? And so that's what.
So we set out on the road, as you know, and when we met with you guys last time, we had Army Sergeant Higgins, Coast Guard Petty Officer Butch Hampton. We had Ed Nixon, Army Sergeant. We had Marine Sergeant Egret English. We had Marine Sergeant
OC
Army Sergeant OC Gay. We had the Marine we met at the VFW.
Henry Silvers
that we met on the fly. OC Gay. We had the Morrisons. We had Joe Tavera, Army Sergeant Joe Tavera.
We didn't even have Tavera yet.
Had we not?
No, we were either
right there.
Oh, I think Joel was in the episode.
Yeah.
And so, we had pretty much just
Seven
or eight,
interviews. And by the time in which we completed this, 280 days on the road, we captured 317 interviews.
Wow.
Today's 318.
Today is 318.
We interviewed Army Staff Sergeant. Okay. This guy is a Korean War Purple Heart recipient. He was an ordnance, or a mortarman, they call him in the Army, but he was ordnance, and he sat back and he dropped 60 millimeter mortars in the Korean War. However, in his words, the 80 millimeter Chinese mortars were more deadly and more accurate, and one of them got him and ripped out his side. But he went so he was in his own. Basically, I guess the Army would put these guys with 16 mics in their own little foxholes.
Yep.
So there was a loader and a mortarman or an ordy, and they were doing it, and then he got hit, and then he had to walk to a highway where he wound up getting picked up by another unit. He was 25th Infantry, and he got picked up by another unit, and then he got flown out, went to a hospital ship, and then to Japan, and on. But
the Chinese mortar ended up hitting his foxhole, and after all of the confusion explosion, he ended up walking through this muddy water trench up until he found the highway that he had actually worked to help build, and he had to flag down the ambulance himself.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy.
It was one of those crazy, and then Korea is so. I feel like every time we get to meet one, it's a blessing, and this is number 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's so misunderstood and I think reported Korea, and I don't know how to fix it because most of them are now gone. But it
Mhm.
seems like there was a big focus on World War II, as we know, and we have so much information, and then Vietnam and forward. But the Korean War veterans seem, I don't know. They're so underreported. So if we could
Yeah.
find one alive, we will do hell and high water to get to them and make sure we get their story. Yeah.
Yeah, when we were in the Marines, we got to meet the Frozen Chosen, a bunch of Frozen Chosen Marines. They came to
Yeah.
base, and just to hear their story. And of course, Sam and I, when we were in South Korea, we got to traverse some of the hills and stuff that they were traversing back then. And
Yeah, hard
I
pass.
will,
Hard pass.
Yeah.
yeah, and I will tell you that was no joke over there. I mean, it
Yeah.
was crazy. And then we got to experience 11 days of full rain while we were out there in the field. And you're talking about a sloppy, muddy mess. I can only imagine being there
Frozen,
during when
bro.
it's frozen during the winter time. Oh,
Yeah.
those guys, a whole different breed,
That-
back then.
That's what he was
And we
telling
had
me.
gear,
He
right?
wasn't.
We had more up to date gear. They didn't have what we have now. They didn't have what we had back in '98 when we were over there, right? So
Yeah.
they're going there with what was on their back, not truly having cold weather gear. And now we have
Yeah.
all this cold weather gear and all this other stuff that's supposed to help. And it's like, how did these guys do it? Right. And same thing. I
1922.
mean, same thing. You go back to World War II, you go back to World War One, you go to Vietnam. What what were these guys thinking with the gear that they had? We got to experience it as Marines because we had some Vietnam gear still when we came in. I mean, you Air Force guys didn't have all
Oh,
that stuff, but
I've been on
but still,
Vietnam
it's
era
crazy.
Marine helicopters. What do you call the little, like the tiny Chinook? They call it a frog, but what is the CV?
Oh,
The
it's the
little,
CH-46.
yes, that little bastard. And that thing is never more modern than Vietnam. Like Vietnam are
Right.
like the last leg of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, even look at the Huey and the Cobra. They were still flying them then, and
Yeah.
they've since upgraded. But still, all those aircraft, there's no more frogs anymore. But the
Yeah.
46, the Huey and the Cobra were all Vietnam era, aircraft. I mean,
Oh
even
yeah.
the Army was throwing Cobras downrange. They don't anymore. I mean, now they have the Apache. But yeah, it's just crazy just looking at the gear that we got passed down and thinking about what they went through. And it's like I don't know if I could have done it back then, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to do half the stuff when I was in, let alone thinking about doing it back, 30, 40, 50 years before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole different breed back then, and unfortunately, like you stated, their stories are going away. There's not too many left.
Yeah.
And I'm super, honored to meet you guys back, when we first met. That you guys are documenting their story. And for a lot of people out there that don't know, tell the people the reason behind interviewing 317, 318 eventually, the unicorn in the room here. But the reason behind it, the reason why y'all are doing what you guys do.
Absolutely. Shall I? So those who didn't see us last time, I'm an Air Force veteran, Purple Heart recipient as well, Bronze Star with Valor, if that matters to anyone out there. But basically, I found myself in Walter Reed, and I had thankfully so much available to me in my generation that prior generations didn't. But all of the traditional stuff for me personally wasn't working. But I resonated with all the traditional therapy and things like that. I went to a brain clinic called NICO, and they did a lot of great scans, and there was a lot of great work. But anything traditional wasn't hitting me, but art was for some reason. So I got really, really, really into art, and that's when I met Lauren, and we opened an art studio to help anyone traumatized, but particularly veterans, use art to overcome whatever trauma they were experiencing. COVID happened. We fell flat on our face. We had already invested about 15 grand into a old Sprinter van to haul around all of our art stuff. So we thought, what are we going to do with this? And we just decided, well, actually I can get into the lunch we had with another Army gentleman, a Vietnam guy, if you'd like, but we had a very profound lunch with a guy. And then we walked away from it and we said, you know what, like, not to get political, but Charlie Kirk's doing his thing. He was still alive then. And a lot of people were doing their things to try to make America better. We were bartending, we were saving for what comes next, not sure what that is until we sat down, because I've known Sam for probably like 11 years now. I've known a lot of people who have helped me, but we didn't really know what we could do. And it was sitting down with this gentleman, and then we had lunch with him, Tom Higgins, and his wife, and he unraveled so much of his trauma in that lunch that she had never heard. And they were married prior to Vietnam. He wasn't a draftee. Well, he was eventually drafted, but he was in college, failed out, already married to her, and then later was drafted. So anyway, so she knew him from prior boot camp, prior Vietnam, prior all of that. And he disclosed in an hour lunch more than she had heard in their cumulative 60 years together into those experiences, which I feel we both know he needed to get off his chest. He just didn't have that network. So it hit us that maybe that's our calling. Maybe we need to go out here. And I've always, my final job in the Air Force was to go essentially to go out on the front lines with brave men like you and many other brave men and women. And I was right there with them when they were doing their jobs, and I was able to document them and highlight them and show the world what these brave soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, and NATO allies and things were doing. So that always felt like my calling in life. And Lauren is way too smart to just be a camera person, but we thought, we've got to figure out something with this. And then, hence came the Van of Valor, and we went out and there was a Vietnam veteran who, well, I'll just call it, he was an abusive father, and he was not a good father, and he had all kinds of baggage he was carrying. Do you want to unwrap it?
Baggage and demons that continued to follow him and continued to follow him from the war. He was drafted, and well, you guys are Marines. You know what it's like to train for boat to beach entry. Well, back in Vietnam, there was a group of guys who were Army who weren't trained for that at all, but that was their first introduction to Vietnam, was drop it, enter the beaches, straight into the forest. You're left with just one magazine of bullets, and you're told only shoot if you need to. 20
rounds in a mag, the man.
And so beach entry, not trained for that, one magazine, and you're told to just enter the front lines as soon as you get off the boat. And so he went over there, he did his time, he was injured, he survived, and he came home, and he came home a different man. And we had the opportunity to interview him, and his son had caught wind that we were doing this interview. And so unbeknownst to us, he showed up right there at the beginning of the interview after we had the camera set up, we had the microphone, everything, and we had started, and his son enters and sits in the back of the room. Well,
holy cow,
begins another 30 minutes of unburdening himself to Kevin, because he's able to understand it. And then eventually he just looks up, and it becomes an apology to his son for the generations or for the years of what had happened.
So cathartic.
It was a cathartic experience that has stuck with both of us, because he was able to not just unburden himself for the sake of an interview, but unburden himself for the sake of himself, and not just personal healing, but the healing that could happen with his son.
Yeah.
And that was one of the examples that we realized the power of the Van of Valor.
Yeah. And the work you're doing, by the way, the work you're doing too, it's the same thing. It's giving a voice to those who, I don't know, maybe never felt they deserved a voice because they were a jerk as a parent or whatever the case may be. But the equation is a whole lot more complicated than what it looks like on the surface, and bringing that light to people reduces in this case, what that not young man, he was almost my age, the son, the father older than me, but I'll call him a young man, but a middle-aged man finally felt as a bit of cathartic understanding of what made his father react the way he did in certain situations. You know, that he'd seen the movies, all that, but to hear it from his father's mouth was very tremendous. It was a powerful moment. I'll never forget it. But
so we Sam and I, we went to Tampa in beginning of February, and we went to SOF missions. And when I came back from there, so I didn't have kids when I was in the military in the Marines. I had them afterwards, right? Now they're 19 and 17. And when I came back from there, after being down there and coming back, things that I realized that I was doing that possibly caused trauma for my daughters and my wife, it was just so eye-opening. And I can only imagine with you guys, here you are, you're interviewing Purple Heart veterans, or recipients, you're out with the Gold Star families and people that never heard these stories, and probably never ever will hear the stories.
Yeah.
To see that healing in person,
yeah,
I mean, I can already feel the emotions that would come over you two just being there for that. But to do that 317 times, and then you're putting that all into a book that's going to go at the Library of Congress. That's phenomenal. I mean, that's amazing.
It's going to be released on H50. We're almost there. We're about 20% of the way through the book, so we are not almost there, but we're working it. I think. What time is it
but
now?
life has thrown something at you guys, right? So you're not in the van traveling the country anymore, right? You received an amazing gift here recently.
Yes.
So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh yes. Do you?
Sure. There is an absolutely wonderful organization out there called Building Homes for Heroes, and they caught wind of our mission. And so their whole mission is to provide mortgage-free homes for Purple Heart recipients and those who have experienced significant military trauma, especially to try to alleviate certain pressures that there are in life. Their mission statement is to try to provide as many mortgage-free homes for people, because paying a mortgage is one of the most significant struggles of the American life when trying to live the American dream. And so, they caught wind of our mission that Kevin submitted an application, and they absolutely loved
10 years ago, actually.
Not just Kevin's story, but what we were doing. And they said, hey, you guys are in a van. Why don't we provide you a driveway to pull the van into for the final mission?
Yeah.
And so that's how it happened. And we have the van parked out in the driveway right now. And this house has been absolutely wonderful. It is so nice to have a stable desk to be able to listen to the audio, write the stories, and process all of this information. Oh,
let alone your classes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was through Building Homes for Heroes and also Lowe's. And there's a whole lot of organizations who help contribute to that. Joel Tavera is a spokesperson actually for that same organization. And oh my God. I can't tell you what it felt like to show up as we're driving down the street I've seen parades. I've heard of a lot of parades for people. I've never had a parade in my own honor. I've been part of at Blue Skies parades for all of our honor and things that I'm not going to say it made me cry, because I don't cry all that easy, but I got pretty damn close to crying at Blue Skies. And I got pretty darn close coming here too, because I mean, it was a parade in our honor. And I don't mean to sound callous, not crying. It's just not easy for me to do, but that thing took me to my knees, man.
The community outreach was absolutely profound. There were people waving flags on the sides of the streets, all while our processional, which was led by the fire and police departments, and a couple of EMS who could pull the ambulances away from the need for emergency and just pulling down the street. I remember the moment when Kevin took my hand and said, wait, this is for us. And it just absolutely at that moment washed over. Building Homes for Heroes is a tremendous organization. The work that they put into the houses, as well as making sure that the veteran and the family who are approaching the house for the very first time feel the amount of love that they were able to put into it, is absolutely tremendous.
Yeah.
I can only imagine, because I guess going back to like the kid in me, it's like, well, I'd love to have a parade in my honor, but then again, I'm like, I really don't really care to have that. So like the city of Shepherdsville just did a Vietnam Day or Vietnam Veteran Day parade last year. It was the first one ever. And I don't know how many Vietnam Veteran Day parades are out there, but to see those guys that were riding shotgun and all these trucks and Corvettes and stuff, and see all the people, the community come out and support these Vietnam vets and be a part of that. That was just amazing. Just being able to drive a Vietnam vet through town as he's waving out there to the people, and everybody's, thanking him for his service and stuff. And I can only imagine, you guys doing this, turning on that street, and you got all the people lined up, you got the fire trucks and everything in front of you, the emotions that overcome that, hey, this is our home. This is where we're going to live, especially after being on the road for 280 something days and all the trials and tribulations that you guys went through, because it wasn't an easy journey.
No.
that van was giving you guys a fit.
Oh man.
5 major breakdowns along the way. Oh my goodness. I'm just glad that we were able to complete the mission.
Well, we did about a quarter of it in rental cars, maybe. I need to crunch the numbers, but there were 3 major loops we did in rental cars because the van was just shot for so long that we were sitting. At one point, it was in Boston.
Oh, Boston!
And that one was
so
fast.
expensive.
We were in hotels for about 2 days. I was like, no, we got to go. You need to fix it. We got to go. We got to get in a train. We got to get out of here. It's too expensive to be in Boston. Broke down.
Yeah.
So we rented a car and we went and did the New England,
loop,
all the interviews, and then we rented another one out just before Blue Skies, and then we had to drive the marathon back and get the van and come back, and then we rented one in the Pacific Northwest from Billings, Montana.
Yep.
And then one from Colorado Springs.
Yes.
Yeah. So four rental cars along the way.
4 rental cars, 5 major breakdowns, and still we persevered all the way through because it's not about us. Every breakdown we felt a cosmic setback on our person because the mission that we're approaching is just too great, too big, too important beyond just 2 people that it almost felt like a cosmic pushback. Just even being able to complete it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you made a visit to New York, right? To a certain hall up there.
Oh yeah, we were there. Yep, we were there. Well, do you want me to say it or do you want to say it?
No, you go ahead.
The Purple Heart Hall of Honor. Yeah, we were there for sure. And man, your display looks as beautiful as always.
Well, I mean, I'm sharing it with you, so of course it does.
Maybe that's why mine looks.
I can't say I'm sharing it. Echo is sharing it.
Echo is right there.
My mug is just there. That's all Echo.
Yeah, it's all Echo.
It's so cool, though. It's so cool. Yeah.
So let's talk about the van itself, because you guys are done with your journey right now, right? Well, the traveling portion, as of right now.
Yes, sir.
What's the plan with the van? Because I think there's something cool that's going to happen in the city of Newport, if I remember correctly.
So the Northport commissioners have officially designated the van itself as a rolling memorial along the Purple Heart Hall of Honor. And so, not Purple Heart Trail. Sorry, mixed 2 things. It's official rolling memorial along the Purple Heart Trail. And so now we're in the process of converting it and figuring out video segments and things like that to be able to turn this literally into a rolling museum so that we can pull into whether it's City Hall itself, schools, ROTC programs, anything that requests us to be there, or even those who don't. So that it is a educational tool as well as a rolling memorial and archive of all of these stories.
That's super cool.
Yeah,
that's super cool that you're going to turn it into a rolling memorial. I think that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, there are 440 names now written on the side. So there was a time when we were broke down maybe it was a third time, sometime in a place called Sundance, Wyoming, for about the period of 2 weeks. And to be honest, I was about to set it on fire. I think I was going to load the flipping thing with C4 and blow it up. I mean, I've considered a lot of things. Yeah. And I thought okay, no, this is our home. This is our office. This is something. And then I just had this crazy idea. If I start putting the names of everyone who mentions a fallen service member, we're interviewing them, and they're like, the worst thing, I survived Fallujah, but Lance Corporal so-and-so and Lieutenant so-and-so and Sergeant so-and-so didn't. We just started write down, and putting every name we heard of every fallen service member, to include 2 or 3 foreigners on there who people served with foreign. Every time we heard that, it was a
name they carry, we decided to carry it also.
Yeah. There's a guy, Sam knows him, who is Air Force, a major. I can't think of his name, but he lives in Upper Ohio, and he does a lot of stuff with like Star Wars. Tim is Sullivan. Yeah. So anyone who's worked with foreign people and they mention that name, we just write it down, and we write it on our van, and then we continue. I mean, we have a case of Sharpies over here that we go back at least once a week, and if one's starting to fade, we trace it back over again and just make sure, because so that's kind of what it became. It literally became a rolling memorial, one because I wanted to kill the freaking thing, but that's my problem, my temper, and then Lauren talked better sense into me, and then we decided to now it's unkillable. There's no way. I look at it and I see the names of so many people on it,
I think that's super neat, because we talk about it on our show that veterans or people die twice, right? The first time is when they actually die. The second time is when people stop saying their name. Now here you got a van that's going to be a rolling memorial. And every time somebody sees that, they're going to read those names and they're going to say that person's name.
Yep.
That's amazing. I mean, that's just amazing.
Every time we walk by it, Willis, every time we call names out loud, we walk by, just because I can't think now, I'm gonna go ahead and use your name. I'm glad you're still with us. But we walk by, we say Corporal David Willis. Like literally every day we walk by, we look at a name, we say it out loud. And just remember.
That's awesome.
Remember mostly all of their stories. We remember too. I think I know every story on that van. Don't quiz me now, but I think I do.
And for the civilians that walk by who have no understanding of what the Purple Heart is until they come up to the van, that's what I also say to encourage is look at whatever name just jumps out at you. Read it aloud, and as long as it exists in your mind, then they're not forgotten. Even if you don't know the story, even if you don't know it.
And they may go home and look that person up, or when they turn away from the van, they look that person up when they get to read a little bit about their life and who they were.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that like you were at an event and you looked up and saw a gentleman's name on the street, right? And you looked it up at one point.
Yeah.
Wasn't that you, Sam? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I do that as well.
Actually, I think I got it from you, Sam, this whole thing.
Like if I'm driving down the highway and I see, Private Joe Smuckatelli, I'll Google their name and be like, oh, okay, this is their story. And it's just My wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm looking up that person's name, or if I'm driving, I'll have her do it because she does not like when I mess with my phone when I'm driving, but she can do that. I can't. But I'll have her do it." And I said, "Tell me the story, just so I want to know more about the story,
Yeah.
and see why that stretch of road is named after that person. You know, what did they do? How did they pay the ultimate sacrifice or whatnot?" And it's
Yeah.
just people don't do that, and I wish more people would do that
Yeah,
because
I was giving a Memorial Day speech, and the sign was right on the edge of City
That's it.
Hall, and I called out the name, and the guy's dad ended up being in the crowd.
That's what it was. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Rich wants to know, do you go to the hometown of those we lost or where they served? So
Um,
Rich is
yeah.
go ahead,
Absolutely.
Kevin.
Absolutely, Rich. Our original idea was to drive for a year. We're now into that. Lauren has an obligation this summer that'll keep us on the East Coast, but our mission is never done after that. And we have an invitation right now to go to Michigan and another one to Minnesota. And we're trying to work now because we can't just pick up and go there. We have other obligations currently. But yes, we will pick up as long as we can get there. Any hometown. That was our idea from the beginning. Those, especially those who can't make it out somewhere else for an interview, we will come to their home, interview in their home or wherever they feel comfortable.
Yeah, so Rich is the host of the Misfit Nation podcast. Just to give you a little backstory, so Kevin and Lauren, they sold everything, traveled the country in a van, went all of these Purple Heart recipients and Gold Star families, interviewed them while they were there. They have a YouTube channel, so you can go follow their Van of Valor YouTube channel and also on Facebook, and you can see everything that they've done. They're currently in the process of going through all of this footage, and they're writing a book that will be in the Library of Congress. So it will be a permanent record for however long we are a country.
Are you
So
submitting the interviews to the Library of Congress too as part
Yeah.
of the historical research? Yeah.
Yeah, and if you were in college somewhere, and you know all colleges have access to university libraries. Well, it just so happens that Lawrence has the second largest in the world, I think second to Oxford, and it's the largest in the United States. And all of the interviews we do go there, so that people in academia, whether it's the Community College of Northport or whatever, have access to that database. It literally is the second largest in the world. So and it was so barren of this type of information. It's really sad when now that she's on the inside and I can look into their university library, how little there are of going on 250 years of heroism now. But there's very little out there. So yeah.
I think there's a reason for that though, because we as veterans, like Sam, let's take Sam for example. He's got 2 Purple Hearts, right? If we ask Sam,
One blown up twice. I only got one.
And a Marine Corps medal.
I refuse the first one. Hey, that I do have that, but
But
yeah,
you-
I refuse the first
you
one.
refused the first one, but you should have 2. Let's just
I don't know
leave
that
it there.
first story. I got to hear that when I interview
So
him.
if you ask Sam, hey, do you consider yourself a hero? He's going to say no, because he's not. He's going to tell you, I just did my job. Same thing with you, right,
That's
Kevin?
That's what
If I
unit
ask
leaders do.
what?
That's what unit leaders do. Their job.
Right,
Yeah.
right. They do their job. So
And you're right,
I can
Willis. I
understand-
would say the same thing. But I'll
I
call
can-
Sam here.
I can understand why there's not a whole plethora of stories in that, but now that you've started what you've started, hopefully more people will follow and do something similar to what you're doing and have more stories there. Because, like we stated before, one, if you tell your story, it helps you heal. Like if you get it out there, right?
Yeah.
The more you talk about it, the easier your life becomes, the more you talk about it. But to have that research, because if somebody's doing research on veterans or the military, they can pull from your interviews. Hey, Dr. Kevin and Lauren Wallace, they interviewed this veteran and this is what they said. So I think that's friggin' phenomenal.
Well, and there's been a big push, probably, I'd say the past 10 or 12 years, of getting veteran stories documented, right? And it's coming from the Library of Congress saying, hey, we need these stories to keep everything alive, to keep that living history alive. And, you sit down and you're in a room and you've got a black backdrop behind you and you have a tape recorder in front of you and you're just one-on-one with a person just talking about you and your life events. And our generation has opened those doors because there's a certain group that loves to write books, and we won't say anything about who they are, but they love to write books about everything they've ever done, right? That opened the door for all the other veterans to talk. And then, of course, we talked about it last night, Willis. I had that Vietnam veteran on the boat who I ain't said nothing in 50 years, and I'm not saying anything now. And by the end of that fishing day, I couldn't get him to shut up. And now and he still doesn't. Like I was, Kevin knows Shake and Bake from Warrior Weekend. And one of them was selling something, and Silent Bob is the one that bought it. And I can't remember if it was Joni or Alyssa that was selling the stuff, but she's like, hey, do you know a Bob? I was like, oh yeah. She's like, yeah, he loves you. I'm like, what? Why? And then Bob started opening up and telling her about the fishing trip and how he opened up and how he's going to therapy and how his wife has learned more about him in the past year than she had their entire time married. I was like, I didn't do that though. I started the conversation. He did that, right? But it just takes that one question. Hey, where were you stationed? Oh, I was at Camp Lejeune. Who were you with at Camp Lejeune? Well, I was here. Oh, they were at Camp Geiger at the time. Now they're just takes that one little dot.
Yeah.
And another dot for those two to connect. And that's it, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You connect two dots, that's all it takes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
I mean, how did you used to draw a mouth on a person when you were stick figures? A line, right?
Yeah.
Connect those two dots, and then that line starts doing this.
Yep.
All it takes.
So Rich says more than happy to have you on the Misfit Nation, and also would sit with you as a Purple Heart recipient and chat with you as well. So there's you another Purple Heart vet that you can chit chat with.
Thank you, Rich.
We will get you connected with Rich via either Sam can connect. You got Rich's cell phone number, don't you, Sam?
I got a lot of things, man. I'm sure I do because
we'll get you connected.
I helped him with his project.
Yeah. We'll get you connected to Rich, and that way y'all can have another story. Yeah.
All right. Absolutely.
So I think that'd be super cool to have Rich tell his story, because I don't know the full story. So I think that would be interesting to see. Which Rich is, I will tell you, Rich is my mentor when it comes to podcasting. When I first started, he was one of the very first podcasters that took me under his wing and kind of taught me what I know. And then we've developed this brotherhood, this he bounces questions off me and I bounce questions off him. So it's one of those things. He's gonna be my brother until I'm 6 foot dead. So but yeah, I think it'd be amazing to have you on his show as well to tell your story as well. So
well, I know your brother's listening, and Rich, brother, I'm there. I don't know where you are. I don't know where to look, but
he's in Tennessee. He's in Clarksville.
Wherever you're at, I'm looking at you wherever you're at.
Fort Campbell.
Awesome. I know.
Yeah, he's 22 years retired, and now he's a DOW employee, employee, something of that nature. He does some Army training. He says, I can't say it as good as he does, but yeah.
He's an air assault guy. He's training the dudes to come off helicopters.
Yeah, he's doing something different now.
Yeah, he's doing the drones. He's doing drones now is what he does. He teaches drones. So
okay, I'm trying to piece together the name, and I think I know the name actually from.
He's got a smart person job.
Yeah, he's got one of those smart people jobs.
Did he used to have a kick-ass store dog type job?
I don't know.
I feel like I know the name. I feel like I know
Rich
this guy.
LaMonica. What did you do? What was your MOS in the Army there, Rich?
Don't put just tell us the general.
Or
Don't put
yeah,
92
general.
golf or whatever. I don't understand that
The
crap.
general, layman's terms.
He says army training. Army training.
What? Training.
We're getting off the rails now.
Yeah, we're getting off the rails. It's about that time though. I mean, this hour has gone by fast. Like, does it feel like an hour to you guys? Because it sure
No.
don't to me.
This whole last year hasn't felt like a year though. When you guys sat with us, thank you so much. We were just kicking off, and it's been a whirlwind of a year since then.
Yeah.
280 days we did like straight, with a couple of half days off here and there, but not a single like full day off for the entire time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we were in Wyoming at the same time. You guys were in the north part, and I was in Jackson. But yeah, we were out there at the same time last year. I was out there fishing October time frame. Was that September?
When we were in Cody or when we were in Sundance? We were in Wyoming twice.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Everything's a blur, man. I barely remember yesterday.
yeah.
So Rich said he was a chem ops specialist. So he's NBC guy.
Ah, okay. Okay.
So-
A little sea Bernie. We can understand that.
The gas chamber. God, I hated
But
that.
yeah, I will be at Warrior Weekend this year. I will not be there as an ambassador. I will be there as a team member. So I was supposed to be there as a team member last year, but some things happened and I got put in the ambassador role. But yeah, I'll be back as a team as a team member again this year.
I think we're coming this time because when I came through to enjoy it, that was pre Lauren, and she hasn't really had a chance to enjoy it. So I think we're just gonna like fund our way and go back on our own, just so she can have that. Because both the 2 times she's been there, we've been working it really hard, and I feel like she hasn't really experienced it yet.
Yeah, for sure. Well, because you guys came with Creative Spot the first time and had that set up to shoot. You guys were manning that, and then you came back and did interviews last year. So yeah, she definitely needs to come back and just take it all in, take every bit of it in. It's just, it's amazing. I've been there since the beginning, and I've watched the growth. Kelly, I recruited her.
You recruited Kelly?
Well, I say that to say that she walked into our office looking for, I can't remember if it was the Navy or the Army. And
Navy,
my roommate at the time talked to her, but because of where she went to high school, I ended up having to write the contract. But yeah, Miss Kelly, that was a few years ago.
You were recruiting in Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you guys want to talk about before we have to end the show?
We need to talk to you later, Sam Deeds, about creating a Van of Valor coin.
Yes.
I can do that.
Yes. And definitely telling Sam's story. Willis, is there a story we need to talk to you about?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I can't say that there is.
Okay.
Willis, I will say this. Willis threw an MRE bomb over the fence when we were in Korea and almost got us completely locked down and almost lost our libo. We had a 72-hour libo plan to go up to Osan, and Willis and one of my old roommates decided they wanted to do this stuff, and they put us on friggin' lockdown, and then they finally messed up to it. So the rest of us got to go on libo, but Willis and him did not.
Normal MRE bomb, or did you put shit in there with it?
No, we put
just
the MRE heater.
With the heater. Yep.
And some Tabasco sauce, and
it
was a 2 liter. It was a 2 liter, or maybe a 1 liter. I think they had 1 liter bottles over there, and and we just filled it. I think we put maybe like 10 MRE heaters in the bottom of it.
It was stupid.
Oh, it was. Crazy.
I mean, and we had.
Yeah.
Who'd we have on base? We had an air wing unit on base because they just
and when the CBs were on base too,
and the CBs were there. Matter of fact, it was the same time Matt was there.
Yeah,
But yeah, so they middle of the night, 2:00 in the morning, whatever, and all of a sudden, boom! We all thought we were under attack, and those 2 friggin' chuckleheads throwing MRE bombs over the fence.
Oh shit! Wait, you were in charge, Sam? Oh shit!
No, I was a Lance Corporal.
You were men suddenly.
I was
he was a
I
Lance
was an
Corporal then.
E3. I
Oh.
was young and stupid too, but I wasn't that stupid. I wanted to go and live.
It was a fun time in South Korea. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
We did some stupid stuff in our day. I mean, I do have a story. Like I did serve in the Marine Corps for almost 6 years. I do have a story, but it's not. It wouldn't contribute to your research. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
I do have, I do have like, my time with 2-8, my time with, going down to Haiti and doing all of that. And then going to 1-8, going on a med float with 1-8 when Naples, there was a bombing in Naples. We were on the USS Nassau. So I do have a story, but it wouldn't contribute to your research. Let's just put it that way.
Oh man.
So
You still have to talk about it at some point.
yeah. I mean, people know some of my story, and some, like my wife. You made a reference a while ago, and I think Sam did too. That for the longest time, my wife didn't know what I did in the military. Like for the longest time, and then when I started the podcast, she started learning more just by watching and listening to me talk. Because for me, if I didn't tell my wife the things that I saw, the things that I did, then she was protected. And same thing with when I had kids, I didn't want them to know some of the things that I did and saw, because I didn't want them to look at their dad in a different light.
Yeah.
So I kept it from them for a really, really, really long time. And, it's just one of those things. It's like, now our relationship's deeper because she knows a lot more. She understands some of my triggers and stuff like that. So that's why I always tell people now that tell your story, especially to the ones you love the most, because they need to understand what's going through here, so they can help you heal that and this. And a lot of people still to this day want to protect, because us three right here, we served our country. We have that protector gene, right? We don't want to tell the people that we love the most, hey, this is what I did. This is what I had to do to survive. So don't let that stigma of the shit that we had to go through hold you back from healing, because it will tear you apart inside. And that's why there's too many 22 a days out there.
The demons come out one way or the other.
Yeah, they have to come out one way or the other. So
They do.
So, but yeah, I do have a story, but I wish it could contribute to your research, but no, we'll have to talk offline about my story, because Sam and I, for our first 3 years, we have very similar stories for our first 3 years. So if you've heard some of his story, then you've heard some of my story. But
I've heard about Haiti. I've heard about Iraq. I've heard some. I've heard about actually. I've heard about shoot. It wasn't Jacksonville. It may have been Wilmington. It was another beach where those swimmers were out, where he went out.
Emerald, yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was somewhere else. So I've heard a few. Yeah.
So Kelly said it was the Air Force, and she said all the offices were closed. So
No, they were close together. So
close together.
It was the Marine Corps, the Navy, the Army, and then the Air Force was around the corner. So we were all right in the same building, and they're still in the same building. And she just walked into our office thinking it was the chair force.
She thought she was walking.
Oh, you're wrong. Get wrong.
She said all the
officers walking into the easiest branch.
How'd that work out, Kelly?
And then she commented here, as wives and girlfriends, we want to know what happened so we can understand you better. So
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's one of those things. I can't wait to meet you guys in person. I'm hoping I get to go to
you need to
Warrior
come up Warrior Weekend.
I know.
At least for Saturday. Minimum Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hopefully we're not on forced overtime, and I can make it up there, leave Friday night and head up. So that's the plan anyway. Yeah. But anyway, guys, I want to say thank you. I know Sam and we want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come hang out with us. we're going to end the show real quick. If y'all want to hang out in the green room until we're done, we can chit chat afterwards. That's up to you guys.
In the green room. Sorry, we did dance again. I thought that was when we'll be in the green room.
At least you're not singing the Pink Pony Club or something like that.
Oh gosh.
I don't know what the green room is, but sure, send us there.
All right. Well, thank you guys again.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, you're very welcome. You guys are welcome here anytime. Let's just put it that way. You guys are here welcome anytime.
Hoorah.
So thank you again.
Oh, and you cut Kevin off. He's about ready to say thank you. He's like,
Dang
see,
it,
Willis. Come on now.
This is Chris that says this is what I hear the most is nobody understands what I'm going through from all the veterans I take time. You would be correct because of thank you, Kelly. You take care as well. Semper Fi. We as veterans, we know a lot of civilians don't understand the stuff that we go through.
But you know what? Yeah, I learned a long time ago that I don't need people to understand.
Yeah.
Right. And some of the stuff I don't want them to understand. Post-traumatic stress is a bitch, man. 100%. Traumatic brain injury, the same thing. I don't need you to understand. But when I'm talking, whether I'm talking to you about what happened or just in general, it's me venting.
Yeah.
Right. Just like a volcano has to have a friggin' vent. Right. It's just me venting before I explode.
Yes, sir.
I Micah's godfather and I served together for 4 or 5 years in the air wing. He's still in the Marine Corps. He's coming up on his 28th year this year. I told him things that he does not understand or never will understand because he never experienced it.
Yeah.
But through me talking to him, he better understood what his brother went through as a combat engineer after he got injured when he came home. And he sees guys that move over from the ground side to the air side, and he knows how to better handle the situations that they're going through. Sometimes it's just an ear, and we talk about that all the time. Sometimes it's just an ear. That's all I need. I don't need you to fix me. I don't want to be fixed. It took almost 49 years to get to where I'm at right now. I don't want to be fixed. I may want to vent, but I don't want to be fixed.
Yeah.
My wife
Well,
may
Julie
want to
said,
be fixed, but
Julie says you still need to fix that RBF.
not happening. This is my happy face. Sorry.
Oh, man. All right. You ready?
Yep.
Are you prepared?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Gunny's Words of Wisdom.
God feeds the birds, but he does not drop the worms into their nest.
Say that for the people in the back again.
God feeds the birds, but he does not drop the worms into their nest.
I like it. I like it.
If you want
Means-
something, you got to work for it.
You got to work for it. Yeah. I like it. What did Chris just says? Chris says, I hear you. What's up, Chris Elder? How are you, sir?
Oh, that
All right.
wasn't directed towards Chris at all. Chris Cornelius, because now we have 2 of them in the chat over there. That's just in general, right? That's just me speaking in general. There's nothing directed towards anybody when I made that comment and that statement that I did.
Yeah. But since Chris Elder, Senior Chief Elder's in the room, hopefully he's still in here, we're going to do something for him. All right. We ready?
It's time for the joke of the day.
Why couldn't the sailors play cards?
Why couldn't the sailors play cards?
The captain was sitting on the deck.
Bro.
So why couldn't the sailors play cards? The captain was sitting on the deck.
This captain was sitting on the deck. All right.
Chris says Chris Elder, senior chief, says he's the better looking Chris.
Yeah.
All right, Gunny, it's that time of night, my friend.
Yep. You still have worth. You still have value. Don't let the dark days win, and surround yourself with people that are going to build you up and not tear you down.
I love it. I love it. In the silence of your struggles, remember, though unseen, you are deeply held in the hearts of others. You are not alone. The uniform may come off, but the bond remains, and together we heal, we rise, and we carry each other forward. And the key word there is together. Together we heal, together we rise, together we carry each other forward. Not this I'm alone stuff. Together we do it together. Hashtag be someone stranger. Listen, we kind of hit on this a little bit earlier, but be someone stranger. We as humans, we're more apt to talk to a complete stranger than the ones we love the most. And it's just how we're made up. It's just our body. The protector gene we want to protect. So be someone stranger. So if you're out and about and you see somebody and it looks like they're having a bad day, go up to them, say, "Hey, how are you doing?" And if they say, "I'm okay, I'm hanging in there, I'm living the dream," the red flags, ask the next hard question. How are you really doing? And be ready for that conversation. Could be a 5-minute conversation, could be an 8-hour conversation. And like Gunny said, he doesn't want to be fixed. He just needs to let it out. So just listen. That's all you have to do is listen.
Yeah, and it takes a village. We can't do this alone. We say it all the time. Two broke people, you're not going to fix each other. You're going to bring each other down more, right? So find somebody that you can vent to. Pick up your phone, do the cell phone roulette, go through your contact list, hit the number, call them up. Hey, need to talk to you, or hey, you got a second? Who knows? Your voice might just save their life.
All right, let's here. You want to talk about SOF missions real quick? I know we hit on them a little bit early, but you want to hit on them?
We did,
quick?
yeah. Great organization based out of Tampa. They take service members and first responders in clinics. They just finished up their second clinic of the year. It's a 5-day clinic just north of Tampa. You talk about your spiritual healing, your social, your physical, and your mental. And every single thing that you do during that 5 days is catered to you as the individual. When you fill out the application, you answer a bunch of questions. The program they put forth for you is for you and you specifically. They do have 2 all-female groups throughout the year. Just go on their website and check it out. And when you're looking at, for first responders, when you're looking at the application, you don't see anything that says first responder. Click on branch, and below all the branches, you'll find firefighter, police, and EMT. That's where your stuff is located. It's under the branch. So don't think that when you go on there, it's just for the military, because that's not. They have stuff for first responders too. Willis and I had a first responder, a firefighter in our group, in our clinic. And then if you choose to do so, they do have a 365 post-clinic care routine for you as well. And that's what I've been talking about the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks now, about the Chris May performance workouts, because Chris is dedicated to sending me workouts every week. And religiously, I've been doing it, except for when I went out of town, but I did it when I got back. But if I feel better physically, which obviously, if you're a strong body, you have a strong mind, and there's more clarity. So it's great organization. So look at sofmissions.org. Check them out. They're saving lives for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I got to order some a resupply on some supplements. So
yeah, I got to do mine Friday.
Yeah, I got to reach out to Megan and get that ordered out. First up, I want to thank and appreciate heroesmediagroup.com. HomeFront Sitrep is a proud partner of Heroes Media Group. Adam Bird and the team there at HMG, they are phenomenal. He's got a whole platform of veteran podcasts on there. Plus, he helps veterans that have a book that want to turn it into an audio book. They do that. They do all kinds of services they offer on heroesmediagroup.com. So go check out heroesmediagroup.com. Up next, a big shout out to Reese Across America Radio. Homefront Sitrep is on Reese Across America Radio on Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern. That's www.reaseacrossamerica.org/radio. You can also download the iHeartRadio app, the Audacity app, the TuneIn app. Search the word Reese, and you can find us there as well. Up next is our friends in Katy, outside of Katy, Texas, with sameflagsameoath.com. Gunny just put our shirt up. Uncle Sam is wearing our shirt back there. He still ain't washed it. Still ain't washed it yet. But check out sameflagsameoath.com. Go to co-branded, scroll down till you find our Marine It Down shirt there. Up next is eliteengraving24.com. That's eliteengraving24.com. Gunny is showing 2 of our hats with a red remember everyone deployed logo for Homefront Sitrep. So go check out eliteengraving24.com, or you can go to our website of homefrontsitrep.com, go to merch, and it'll send you to both our shirt and our hat as well. It'll take you directly to the site where it's listed at. So go check out eliteengraving24.com. Gunny?
Got Valor coins and pins, owned and operated by Brent and Brian Casey, the other grandsons of the late Woody Williams. Brent is an Army veteran doing great things in the coin making world. Willis has our coin right there in front of us. It's a business card bottle opener, and the back has a very special surprise in the dark. But yeah, the pins, medals, poker chips, coins, you can do basically anything you can think of, they can design. And it's at a decent cost. And a portion of all the proceeds goes back to the Woody Williams Foundation to help build the Gold Star Memorial Monuments.
Heck yeah.
And you got RDC Shoes, owned and operated by Darren Davis and his wife. Darren is a Marine veteran and former law enforcement officer, and they've been selected as the shoe company for the America 250. Right now, they have the Patriot shoe, which is a blue shoe with stars on it with a red and white tongue. And then the top eyelets on the shoe are gold to represent the Gold Star families. A portion of that shoe also goes to the Woody Williams Foundation. Then they have the Glory shoe. It's a red and white shoe with a blue tongue with stars on it. And on the back, it says Folds of Honor, and a portion of that proceeds for that goes to the Folds of Honor organization, which helps kids of fallen service members or kids of severely wounded service members for college, for scholarships.
I love my Patriot shoes that I have. That I wear them pretty much all the time. They are so comfortable.
Man, I just wore mine to the White House, and we walked to and from the hotel all around the White House, and they were comfortable, man.
I love them.
Zero issues.
And now, if you are in, like Kevin, he loves to do artsy stuff. He's in the arts. Check out cavarts.org. That's Challenge America Veterans in the Arts. It's all strictly veterans. There's no outsiders. It's all veterans. If you want to learn how to paint, draw, play the guitar, do leather work, welding, leatherworking, metalworking, podcasting, go to cavarts.org, register there. Amazing organization. Challenge America is an amazing organization. They've got the sisterhood initiative as well for all female veterans if you want to do that. Or if you're in the arts, you go to cavarts.org. Go give them or go register if you're a veteran out there. So, and then like we stated, go to homefrontsitrep.com, check out our website, check out all these great veteran service organizations, great veteran authors, business owners, comedians. You name it, they're on there. If we've had them on the show, they're on. And if you notice, we got 2 new books. I got them back here. We have them coming on. One is 21 Steps. The other one is Honor Flight. We're going to have the author of those 2 books come on the show and talk about the new book, which is Honor Flight. I'm super excited about that. They just came in. That's why they're on display right there. So I'm super excited for that episode. I think you'll be in Maine when we have
I
him
will
on.
be on vacation. I'll be enjoying some lobster. I'm just
There you go.
like some fresh lobster, like real lobster. None of that southern warm water crap.
You get that Maine lobster.
Yeah, that good New England northeast lobster with the claws. You know, that's where it's at.
Yeah. Oh man. All right, guys. Like we always say on HomeFront Sitrep, stay safe out there. We got
your 6.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your 6.